Picture this. A stranger fills out a form on your website, hits submit, and before they can even switch tabs, their phone starts ringing. On the other end is a calm, natural voice that knows their name, their budget range, and exactly what they asked for. In under 3 minutes, that voice AI has qualified them, booked a meeting on your calendar, and logged the whole thing in your CRM without a single human rep lifting a finger. This is not a demo from 2030. This is a no-code workflow you can build today. Here is the part most sales teams do not want to hear. Multiple studies show that if you call a new lead within the first 60 seconds, your chances of converting them can jump by almost 4 times compared to waiting just a few minutes. After 5 minutes, your odds fall off a cliff, and most businesses are nowhere near that window. In a minute, I will show you how N8N and Retell AI erase that delay entirely, and why this changes who actually wins the lead war. Think about how it works today. A form submission pings a shared inbox, a rep notices it 20 minutes later, then spends days playing phone tag across time zones and busy calendars. Meanwhile, that same lead has clicked 2 competitor ads, maybe booked a call elsewhere, or just lost interest entirely. The old answer was to throw more humans and more tools at the problem, but that is like adding more buckets to a sinking ship. The pattern that actually breaks this is a voice AI agent that reacts in seconds, every time. Enter a new class of voice AI agents built on Retell AI for the voice front end and N8N for the automation brain. The moment someone hits submit, N8N catches that event and hands it to Retell, which dials the phone within seconds. This is not a rigid robo voice reading from a script. It can ask about budget, timeline, and intent, handle interruptions, and politely exit when someone wants off the call. And here is the twist. This combo is replacing entire sales development pods, but it is accessible to solo freelancers with a free account. In Zubair Trabzada's AI workshop demo, the agent does what a junior rep would do on their best day. It confirms a $5,000 to $10,000 budget, negotiates a specific Monday 9 to 11 a.m. callback window, and logs everything automatically. No one touches a dialer. No one copies notes into a CRM. That kind of always-on, sub-60-second follow-up rewires the top of your funnel. And this matters because it means your human closers only talk to people who actually want to buy. So what are the actual pieces here? Think of N8N and Retell AI as 2 halves of a new hire. N8N is the operations brain that listens for triggers and moves data around, while Retell is the voice that the customer hears. Together, they turn a simple form into a live sales call that fires in real time. In a moment, we will walk through that handshake step by step so you can see exactly where the magic happens. Speed-obsessed teams do not start with the phone, they start with the form. A prospect lands on your site, drops in their name, phone number, maybe a rough budget, and hits submit. Behind the scenes, an N8N workflow trigger grabs that payload in real time. No polling, no manual export. It packages the details into a clean JSON object and hands it to Retell with the correct agent ID and prompt profile. That handoff is the automated handshake, where silent back-end logic turns into a real ringing phone. Retell AI then spins up an outbound call and greets the lead by name, referencing the exact form they just submitted. Using a real-time language model, it asks targeted questions about urgency, budget, and fit, and it can handle things like interruptions or a quick "not right now" without sounding robotic. Every answer flows back as structured data to an N8N webhook, including outcome, confirmed budget, preferred time window, and even a transcript. This is where the stakes get real, because that stream of data is what lets you automate CRM updates, deal creation, and calendar booking without human bottlenecks. Now, how do you give this agent an actual personality? Inside Retell, you start with a blank dashboard and create a new voice agent, choosing a voice, language, and low latency model such as a GPT-4 real-time variant. Then you define the universal prompt, which is like the operating system for your caller. You tell it who it is, why it is calling, and how to behave when humans interrupt, ramble, or try to bail. Change that prompt, and you instantly change the sales style, no code required. A solid prompt starts with identity. For example, you might write, "You are Cindy, a friendly but efficient sales assistant from an AI agency. Your goal is to qualify leads and, when appropriate, book a follow-up call." Next, you outline the conversation beats in plain language, not code. Greet by name, confirm you are speaking to the right person, mention the form, ask about urgency, confirm budget, then propose specific time windows. In a minute, we will push this further into objection handling and dynamic personalization. The same universal prompt also encodes what to do when things go off script. You define how to respond if the customer is busy, objects, or wants to end early. In Zubair's demo, Cindy gracefully backs off when the customer declines an overview, then confirms the Monday 9 to 11 a.m. window and ends politely, all driven by those scenario rules. Personalization comes from variables that N8N injects, like customer name, company name, budget range, or service interest. That is why the call sounds tailored, even though the logic is reusable across thousands of leads. Under the hood, the real brain lives in N8N's node-based canvas. Instead of writing functions, you drag nodes, wire them together, and watch data flow as each step turns green on success. Everything starts with a trigger, maybe the built-in form node for testing, or a webhook node in production that accepts JSON from any website or funnel builder. A set node cleans the data, normalizing names and phone numbers, so the downstream API call never chokes on weird input. Then an HTTP request node fires the outbound call request to Retell, including your agent ID and all the variables. When the call ends, Retell does not just disappear. It posts back to another N8N webhook with structured fields like call ID, duration, outcome, and transcript. From there, you can branch. Qualified leads get pushed into your CRM with the right pipeline stage, reps get an email with the summary, and failed calls can be tagged for automatic retries. This is where the stakes for your team change, because suddenly your pipeline is updated by events, not by memory and manual data entry. But a great voice agent is not just plumbing, it is conversation design. Retell agents run on dense, multi-part system prompts that break the call into phases: greeting, qualification, objection handling, and closing. You define rules like confirm the name in the first turn, ask no more than 2 questions in a row, and summarize key details before hanging up. You also script responses to common objections, like "I am busy," "How did you get my number?" or "Just email me," mapping each to a graceful next step. This is where you stop writing lines and start encoding your sales policy, tone and pacing live in that same control layer. You can tell the agent to sound professional and concise, avoid slang, and keep most responses under 2 sentences unless the person asks for more detail. Real-time models keep latency low enough that pauses feel human instead of robotic. You even define exit signals, phrases like "I have got to go," "not interested," or "call me later" that trigger a short recap, confirmation of any appointment, a thank you, and a clean hang up. In a second, we will push this one step further into live calendar booking while the prospect is still on the line. Speed dialing a lead is impressive, but locking in a calendar slot before they hang up is where this setup becomes dangerous in a good way. Instead of ending with "someone will reach out," the agent can say, "I have booked you for Monday at 9:30 a.m. Check your email for the invite." Retell enables this with functions, structured actions the model can call when certain conditions in the conversation are met. When the prospect agrees to a time window, the model parses that into a concrete time, calls a create calendar event function, and hands structured data back to N8N to actually place the event. Inside N8N, that function call arrives as a webhook payload with the prospect's name, email, phone, chosen day, time window, and a short qualification summary. A set of Google Calendar nodes, or any calendar you prefer, uses that data to create the actual event and send invites. At this point, your AI has taken a cold inbound lead all the way to a scheduled meeting, and your human team only sees the finished appointment. This is the quiet revolution. Your top of funnel becomes a machine that never sleeps, never forgets, and never gets stuck in meetings. Here is the part that might surprise you. None of this is locked behind enterprise contracts or massive budgets. N8N offers a free cloud account, and Retell AI has a free tier as well, so you can stand up a working prototype without even pulling out a credit card. That lowers the barrier not just for startups, but for solo freelancers who want to sell voice AI agent services to local businesses. If you can build one of these for a plumber, a law firm, or a coaching business, you have a productized service overnight. The real competition is not other tools. It is the old way of working. Teams that still rely on humans to notice every lead email, dial every number, and remember every follow up will simply lose to those who automate the first touch. This does not replace your closers, it protects their time so they only talk to people who are ready to move. The stakes are simple. In a world where every minute counts, the company with an always on voice AI rep will win more deals with fewer humans and less chaos. So, if you want to build this yourself, your roadmap is clear. Start with a simple N8N workflow that catches a form submission, cleans the data, and calls Retell. Design a universal prompt that fits your brand with clear identity, call phases, and objection handling. Then wire up the callback webhook to push results into your CRM and calendar. From there, you can iterate, add knowledge bases, more complex scoring, or multi-language support, but your first working AI sales rep can be live in under 24 hours. If you are curious what to do next, here is your challenge. Think of one business you know that bleeds leads because no one calls fast enough. Imagine dropping in a voice AI agent that calls every new lead within 60 seconds, qualifies them, and fills their calendar while they sleep. If you want a full build walkthrough or a deep dive on pricing and packaging this as your first AI client offer, tell me in the comments. And make sure you subscribe because the next wave of sales is not about who can talk faster, it is about who can automate